What up, Chitsumers here. Now, here is my throwback segment where I talk about the films that turns 10, 20, 30, and 40 this week. Alright, the films celebrating their 10th anniversary, we got Sin City, A Dame to Kill For, which was actually a prequel to 2005's film Sin City, which I love the original Sin City, with Jessica Alba, directed by Robert Rodriguez, who I believe he co-directed that with, I believe, Frank Miller, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, you had, the late Brittany Murphy was in that, the late Michael Clark Duncan. I mean, who did not love the original Sin City? Now, they didn't really do a full-on sequel, mostly a prequel, which nowhere near as good as the 2005 Sin City film. I actually thought A Dame to Kill For was much better than most people give it credit for. And for one, you got Ava Green playing the villain, which, who does not love Ava Green, right? Of course, you had Mick O'Rourke coming back. You had majority of the cast members returning, like Jessica Alba, Bruce Willis, uh, Rosario Dawson returned, along with the newcomers such as Christopher Maloney, Lady Gaga. You also had Dennis Haysbert. I mean, it was actually not a bad prequel. Again, it's nowhere near as good as the 2005 film, but I had fun time with it. Like, I still loved how stylish it was. It really felt like it was coming, straight off the pages of the comics. I hope Robert Rodriguez and company will go back and do another Sensei, whether it's like a TV show, a film, or something like that. We need more Sensei in our lives, right? Although the film did not do so well, so maybe that could be it. All right. Also turning 10, we got If I Stay, which starred Chloe Grace Moretz and is based on a very popular book of the same name. It also stars the likes of Stacy Keach, Leon Libero, Joshua Leonard, Jamie Blackley. If you guys don't know much about the story in this, it starred Chloe Moretz as Mia Hora, a talented young uh, cellulist, who though the most difficult decision she would ever have to make would be whether to pursue her musical dream at Prestige Juilliard or follow her heart to be with the love of her life. It all changes everything when like Mia's life hangs in the balance, suspended between life and death. And it's pretty much in the vein of Ghost, where she does like it definitely has a little bit of a ghost feel to it, where Maressa's character does get killed, and she's pretty much all following him, trying to know if like she wants to be with him or not. Uh, and it's actually not a bad little film. It's been a while since I've seen that, man. Of course, Maria Alnos from The Killing fame was in this. Had some cool cast members. This was, of course, around a time when stuff like Fault in Our Stars was becoming a hit, where they were trying to do like these, YA, adaptations of romance novels and stuff. So I'd say it wasn't so bad there. All right. Also turning 10, we got the football movie When the Game Stands Tall, starring Jim Caviezel, and was directed by Thomas Carter. The plot concerns a record of 151 games from 1991 to 03 high school football winning streak by De La Salle High School of Concord, California. Now, again, you had Jim Caviezel, Michael Chiklis was in this. You had some really cool cast members, here and there. I mean, of course, you also had Laura Dern was in this film. Really decent little football film. Not like it's not going to be a classic as, let's say, Remember the Titans or Rudy or anything like that. But it's really a decent one worth checking out. All right. Now, films turning 20 this week. All right. We, of course, got Exorcist The Beginning. The prequel to the one of the prequels to the iconic film The Exorcist. Now I believe like Domino, The Exorcist came out like a year prior. This starred Stellan Skarsgård, who is haunted by his experiences in World War II, when occupying Nazi troops forces him to compliment in their atrocities. Let's be real. Exorcist, The Beginning. is terrible. I admit, Believer is actually a better film. Like, even though Exorcist the Believer is still terrible, I will go back and rewatch that again before I ever go rewatch this or even the or even Domino, whatever that thing was called. You know, I mean, listen, for there has not really been a great Exorcist movie since the original, and hopefully Mike Flanagan will change that with his Exorcist, but we'll see. All right, I believe Rennie Holland directed this, if I'm not mistaken, too. All right, also turning 20, we got Without a Paddle. Now, Without a Paddle, of course, was directed by Stephen Brill, who gave us Adam Sandler classics such as Lil Nicky. I believe he did Mr. Deeds, if I'm not mistaken. Without a Paddle also stars Seth Green, Dax Shepard, and Matthew Lillard. And you also had Burt Reynolds was in this. Some cool cast members here. It tells the story of three reunited childhood friends going on a trip up a remote river in order to search for the loot of long lost airplane hijacker DP Cooper. Now they actually did do a home video sequence, which was terrible, but Without a Paddle is a lot of fun. You know, the chemistry between Seth Green, Matthew Lillard, who are very good friends because that was the same year they were also in Scooby Doo 2 together. So, and I believe like they also did like Robot Chicken together. They're actually pretty good close friends here. Dax Shepard, who I always loved Dax Shepard. All three of them play off each other very well. Really fun buddy comedy. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, give that one a go. All right. Also turning 20, there's the Stephen Fry film Bright Young Things, which had the likes of Michael Sheen, James McAvoy, Emily Mortimer, Dan Aykroyd, and it's based on the 1930 novel of the same name, which provides satirical social commentary about the bright young people, young and carefree London aristocrats, crats, and bohemians. Not a bad little film. James, like, of course, it is a British-based film. Uh, some really good cast members. You had Dan Aykroyd, who was great. Not a bad one. But also turning 20 is a movie that not many people probably ever heard of or anything. It's a movie called Mean Creek. Now, if you guys don't know much about the story of Mean Creek, it's about a group of teenagers who devise a plan to get revenge on an overweight, troubled bully on a boating trip, but their plan goes too far. If you guys have not seen Mean Creek, again, it's maybe not like it's probably not that popular to most people. People's probably looking at me saying Mean Creek. What the heck's that? Mean Creek, by the way, had Josh Peck in it. I remember first time I saw Mean Creek, it was around the time Drake and Josh first premiered and everything. If you ever want to hear Josh from that was actually the first time I ever heard Josh from Drake and Josh curse up a storm. Yeah, I mean he actually plays the bully in it, and of course what happens to him is if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not gonna spoil it, but let's just say it doesn't look great for Josh's character. Um, and he curses up a storm here. Like if you watch this before you like actually if you watch this after you watch Drake and Josh, you're not gonna want to look at him as Drake and as Josh the same way. I'm like, uh, seriously, is that the same kid from Drake and Josh? I mean, it's still insane to believe to this day. But you also had some other cool cast members like Trevor Morgan, who you might, or if you're probably were a child at the time, I'll probably remember Trevor Morgan from Barney's Great Adventure or Jurassic Park 3. It doesn't do anything anymore. It's a shame because I've always liked Trevor Morgan. Like, he was in again, he was in Barney, he was in Jurassic Park 3, Sixth Sense. He doesn't do anything anymore. It's a shame too because I've always found him to be a pretty good actor. You also had Rory Culkin, of course, who will go on to be in Charlie and Scream 4. You had them also. You had the kid who played Ben 10 in the live action Ben 10 movie. You had some cool cast members in this. It's a really fun, like I can't really call it fun, but it's a pretty intense like teen film worth checking out. Around a time where like TikTok wasn't a thing and all. And so yeah, if you guys never seen Mean Creek, like 2004 was the year of the word mean. You know, Mean Girls, Mean Creek. I, I guess everyone was mean in 2004. But yeah, definitely go watch Mean Creek if you guys never seen that. All right, now films turning dirty this week. We got the Damon Wayans film Blankman. People who always say that Black Panther was, or even Blade was the first major black comic book film and stuff like, or superhero film. I got some bad news. Blankman is where it's at. I love Blankman. You know, it's a shame they never really. Of course, this movie came out around a time where, like, you know, comic book movies wasn't really a striving and stuff like that. But Blankman is a fun one. You know, you had Damon Wayans. Who else? Oh yeah, David Allen Greer was in this. If you guys don't know much about the story in this, it's where Daryl, played by Damon Wayans, fashions a bulletproof overcoat. He was in the movie Bulletproof too. To wear over red long johns, becoming Blankman. It's superhero without any superpowers. Saves some inventive tinkering skills. And so, yeah, of course, you had David Allen Greer playing his brother. Tony Cox was also in this. Arsenio Hall. Uh, yeah, if you guys have never seen Blankman, do yourself a favor, go watch it. Damon Wayans, I've always loved. You know, obviously my wife and kids fame. He doesn't do as many movies as he used to. Like, remember the '90s? He did stuff like Bulletproof, Last Boy Scout, Marcy, yeah, Marcy X. What else did he do? Oh yeah, Mo Money. I've always loved Damon Wayans. Which, by the way, his new sitcom with his son Damon Wayans Jr. looks a lot of fun. I cannot wait to see that. But definitely go watch Blank Man if you guys have never seen it. I mean, man, Damon Wayans, he needs to come back up and do another Blank Man film with his son. That will be killer. I mean, with comic book and the superhero genre being hot as it ever been, I think it's time for another Blank Man. You know, Damon Wayans, I'm sure you don't watch my videos, but anybody who does Blank Man, definitely give us another Blank Man. All right. I mean, hey, you can't even get his son to play the role. You never know. All right. Also, turning dirty this week, we got Color of Night, which stars Bruce Willis. You know, speak of Last Boy Scout, by the way. And you know, this was actually the only time where he actually, where Bruce Willis showed a lot of himself in fun, if you know what I mean. Now, if you guys don't know much about Color of Night, it also starred Ruben Blaze, Brad Dorff, aka Chucky, Lance Herxon, Scott Bakula, and it's where New York psychologist Bill Kappa becomes traumatized and flees to LA after one of his patients, you know, commits the S word. When a fellow doctor there is brutally murdered, the psychologist agrees to take on his clients with chilling results. Not a bad little film. I mean, it's of course a erotic based thriller, which the '90s was very popular with them. With like, well, late '80s and '90s was really popular with the erotic genre. You know, with Basic Instinct, Fair Attraction, etc. So they were, of course, obviously capitalizing on success of those. So not a bad film here. I mean, not Bruce Willis's best work, nothing like that. But really decent flick there. All right. Also turning 30, we got the film Fresh. Now let's start with Samuel Jackson, who of course, at the '90s, he wasn't as like huge as he was today. Like late '80s and '90s, he does stuff here and there. I'm obviously I feel like it was Pulp Fiction that really got him. That really got him on the map. Uh, but of course, you know he had like little small roles back in the early '90s and stuff like Juice. I believe he was. I believe he was in one of the Exorcist films, if I'm not mistaken. He even had that little cameo in Goodfellas. But anyway, now this film tells a story around a preteen boy named Micah, nicknamed Fresh, played by Sean Nelson, who runs drugs for gangsters inspired by the chess lessons of his father, an alcoholic speed chess master played by Sam Jackson. Fresh devises and executes a brilliant plan to exonerate himself and his drug addicted sister from the hopeless lives. Now, of course, this is a hood film, which you don't really see many hood movies nowadays. Like they do stuff here and there, like you'll probably see some new hood movies on Tubi and stuff. But I'm talking about like they don't make hood movies like they used to. You know, remember stuff like Boys in the Hood, Juice. Like you don't really get those type of films anymore. You know, and Fresh, of course, was coming on to success with stuff like Boys in the Hood, Juice. Really decent flick there. Sean Nelson was pretty good. You had some other cool cast members here and there. Sam Jackson was terrific in this. Really decent flick if you guys ever seen that. All right, and not really much to talk about with the 4 year one, except we got Oxford Blues, which stars Rob Lowe as Nick D'Angelo, who is an American hustler in a Vegas casino. And when he falls in love with a wealthy lady, Victoria Wingate, played by Amanda Pays, he follows her to England, where he must con his way to Oxford University in an attempt to win her hand and her heart. He also had the late Warlock actor Julian Sands in this. Uh, a little forgettable, not really a movie that I fully remember. So, all right. Also turning 40, we got Love Streams, directed by the always great John Cassavetes, and the film tells the story of middle-aged brother, played by Cassavetes, and his of a middle-aged brother and sister played by the late Janet Rollins, who just passed away, who find themselves relying on one another after being abandoned by their loved ones. Not bad here. I mean, it's a really decent. Like John Caffery was always an iconic director in his own right. Of course, you know Janet Rollins, R.I.P. It's terrific. I mean, of course, like you know, Janet Rollins was a living legend from the '60s, '70s, and this was a really decent flick we're checking out. All right, but that's pretty much it there. Let me to you guys. Which of these films stand out to you the most? To me, the 10-year one is going to go to Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. The 20-year one is going to Mean Creek. 30-year one, I'm going with Blankman. And 40-year one, I'm going with Love Streams. Anyway, drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Henry Simon.